Good day to you all.
Good day, madam. Good to have you once again.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to say a big welcome to everyone joining us today on this very important webinar. You know, as always, we always want to bring very relevant and useful information to people. And that is why we thought it fit to come up with this webinar today. So why are we doing this? We know that Canada is a very desirable destination for students, workers, and everybody. If you will take a poll outside there and ask that, okay, where really, if there is a magic wand that can make your dream come true, which country would you say? I believe like 70% out of the people that really want to immigrate from Nigeria would call Canada as their preferred destination. However, the school route is what seems to be kind of easy to access. As much as it is easy to access, the challenge is that there is a very high refusal rate when it comes to visa. So that's why we said, okay, let's just help people out there to know how to increase their success rate. That when you know what the visa officer is looking for, then you can do a good job in putting your application together, and that will help you to, get this, your desire. So today on this webinar, myself and Amos will be anchoring this. Amos Osebor is the principal consultant at Exciting Futures Immigration company, and he is a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. So that means that he is accredited by the government to be able to assist people to come into Canada. So I am also a licensed RCIC, and but today I am wearing the cap of EduThrive CEO because this is about study. So some days you will see me come up here as a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, but today really I am the CEO of EduThrive, and we are doing this because our students really want to know how to be successful with their visa application. I will just go ahead now with the presentation. So is my audio very good?
It's not good. It's not good. It's echoing.
Not very clear.
Yeah, because I'm hearing myself. What do I do now? I really don't know how to fix that.
I think it's better now.
Okay. Because the thing was just giving me one bad feedback like that. Okay, so we need to explain these common terms that sometimes people, they use interchangeably or they confuse them. People just refer to visa. People will say, please, can you help me with my visa application? What visa?
Coach was echoing again.
Wow, the audio is bad.
could you check your speaker?
Okay, Amos, why don't you just go ahead with the slides so that I will get the audio from my end.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, hi everyone. Can you hear me? Hi everyone.
Hi, I can hear you. Good to have you.
Hello.
Hi, I can hear you.
Getting a lot of okay, is it clear now? Can you all hear me?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, thank you. So thanks everyone for joining this webinar today. As Coach Bose initially pointed out, we've discovered a trend where there's been a lot of refusal rates for visa application for people from Nigeria. So we're doing this to provide some information out there and see how that could help some people, and then also tell you how we can help in the process. Okay. So there's a bit of confusion around what is a visa, what is a study permit, what is a work permit. Now, the visa, which in Canada is called a temporary resident visa, it's given to people from countries, what they tag high-risk countries. For example, Nigeria, you require a visa to come into Canada, right? So if you're issued a visa, that means you've met the requirements to be admitted into Canada. Now, for countries where they don't require visas to come in, they call them visa exempt countries. For example, Germany, England, Mexico, United States of America citizens. Now they are able to come into the country. However, they do need what they call electronic travel authorization, which they pay $7 for, and they literally get the approval same day or maybe within a week, right? Now, having a visa or the TRV is not a guarantee you get entry to Canada. Entry to Canada is decided by the border officer. So you go through the examination by the border officer. They want to know your intentions are right, and then they authorize your entry. If you're not authorized, you could be sent back from the border. So having visa is not equal to admittance to Canada. Okay. All right. Then what is a study permit? So a study permit is a status document. It gives you status. So when you apply for a study permit, first you are issued a visa, an entry visa, which is a counter for the stamp on your passport, right? And then you're able to come. You're able to come into Canada at the border.
So we don't go.
At the border, Coach Bose, could you just mute everybody except me and you? Thank you. So at the border, you are examined by the officer. They check if you meet the requirements. If you do meet the requirements, you've been admitted to a school, you show them a letter of acceptance. You show them, sometimes they could even ask for your proof of funds. In fact, I had a client, it was a very bad story, but it was a success at the end of it. The client was approved for the study permit. It was a difficult process getting them to be approved in the first place, but by God's grace, they were approved. When she got to the border, not knowing that a family member already called immigration, in fact, the family member was instrumental to her not being approved in the first place, but we overcame that. Getting to the border, the family member had called immigration, which in Canada we call the poison pen. So somebody writes something about you or calls in to say something negative. And they told the border officers that this candidate doesn't have money. Even the mother that is a sponsor is a civil servant. She earns peanuts. She cannot, And thank God this lady was prepared. So she had all her documents. She had her bank info on her phone because they asked to see her phone that she has the money in her bank account and all of this process. But at the end of the day, she spent long hours. She was fidgeting. She was scared. But in the end, God favored her and she was granted admittance. So when you're approved for a study permit, that's not the final thing. You have to still have the money ready to show in the border what if, like my client's case, somebody calls the border agency to say you are not qualified? Just imagine a family member doing that to you. That's really bad. Anyways, co-op work permit. So some programs do have what they call internship or co-op or practicum. So in your application for study permit, you would have to indicate, usually in your letter of acceptance, they would have put in information there to say this program has a co-op component, and then you are eligible to have a co-op work permit. So when they're issuing your work permit, the letter of an introduction you get from the visa office will include information about that. So when you get to the border, the border agent, after examining you, will grant you a study permit document as well as a co-op work permit document, which means in the course of your program, maybe in the last semester, you're able to go on and do a co-op. That in itself, if your program does not have a co-op, they will only issue a study permit. Now, having a study permit as a full-time student allows you to work at least 20 hours per week and unlimited hours during the semester break. Okay. Now, what's an open work permit? It's what they issue to spouses of international students and some other categories of applicants in Canada. They get the open work permit. So if you apply with your family, for sure, and you are approved, your spouse gets what they call the open work permit, allows them to work for any employer as many hours as they want, but you can only work as a student, can only work 20 hours during school and 40 hours thereafter. All right, you can take it away, Coach Bose.
Okay, I hope my audio is good now.
Yes, it's good now.
Okay, thank you. So the next thing is we hope to show you these statistics that is not by mouth. So when we say that Nigerians really don't get these visas a lot, we know what we are saying. So from if you can see this graph, you can see this table, you will discover that Nigeria had the lowest approval rate for visa issuance when you compare it with other countries. You can see countries like India, you know, they have it good. So you have a lot of Indian students here because there's just a way their own you know, system is structured that makes it very easy for them to meet the demand of the visa officers, and they get issued these visas. But you will see that for Nigeria, can you see us? We are so tiny. We send in a lot of applications and we get very few, you know, only very few will be approved. Nigeria is the third largest application country. So a lot of people, India has the highest application, followed by the Republic of China, and then followed by Nigeria. So the application that they receive on a yearly basis for study permit, we are the third in number that will always submit visa application. But compared to the other countries, it's like we are being given the short end of the stick. You know, we are not just getting this thing. And it's not as if these people don't want Nigerians, that they have a beef, you know, for us and say, oh, those Nigerians, don't let them come. I mean, that's not it. When they are checking the applications, it is just basically what they are looking for. So, do you have this tick? Do you have that tick? Do you have this tick? So if we don't put together something that meets their expectation, definitely they would say no. So the approval rates for Nigeria when it comes to study permit application is normally in the range of 25%, 22%. But now, currently, it has even dropped to like 15%. What that means is that if 10 people submit study permit application, less than 2 will be given. So that means that we can say 1 out of 1 out of 10 is sure to be able to get it. That is abysmally low. It is not good enough. And we just believe that we should do something about that. So how do you go about putting up an application that will really let you stand out as if you are serious and this visa officer should consider you? Where your journey starts from is in the choice of your course. You know, as EduThrive, what we do is that we help people with with admission to schools. So you hear Nigerians come and say, yes, I actually studied law in my first degree. I have a master's, but now I want to do nursing. And you are just wondering, what is the, okay, so do you want to start nursing from bachelor's, or you are hoping to be able to do nursing at master's level? So when you choose courses that do not align with what you studied before or with what you currently do, then you will need to scale more hurdles to be able to prove to this visa officer why you are doing this. So it's not as if you can't do it, but it is just easier for you to toe the known path. It's easier for you to just follow, let there be a progression in your career as, okay, this is what I studied, this is what I am doing, this is what I hope to do, and there is a flow. If there is no flow, which do happen, but we will need to now, that's where you need experts like us that will really be able to say whether you will be able to scale that hurdle. So don't just go and just go and pick any course and say, which course is marketable? That's something people will ask me. They will ask me, I should choose for them. They'll tell me that, hey, when I come to that Canada, which course will help me to get job? And I'll say, so what do you do? I mean, I can't be the one to just come up and say, go and do cybersecurity. I mean, I don't even know you. So know yourself, know your career interest, where you really want to go, and then choose a course that will really help you achieve that goal. You need to show also that you have an economic ties to your home country. If you are fresh from college, so let's say you just finished secondary school and you want to go into university. Which economic ties will you really have as a human being? I mean, you don't even have any economic ties because you're just 18 or probably 17. So what they will be looking out for in that regard will not necessarily be how much money you have in your account and all of that. But the person that is sponsoring you should have something solid. So your parents or that person that says, this child, I want to send you to Canada, they will be checking for that. Where is that base? Where is that economic base that will support you? So, and you shouldn't just say, I have an uncle somewhere. All Nigerians always have uncles. We always have aunties that really we are not related to. And there is no family ties to that person, nothing. You just say, can I bring statement of account of my pastor? Or when you keep doing that, then you run the risk of not getting this approval. Family ties to your home country too is very important. So if you are a matured person, you are not just from secondary school, say you are 35-year-old and all of that, we would also need to see that you have a root back in your country. That means that you have maybe family, you have wife, you have children, you have parents you are responsible for and all of that. So let's say you're now 35 and you're not married. Because some people will say, but I'm not even married. I know I don't have any family per se. that is not a disqualification. I mean, it is just that they want to see whether you are grounded. So we can use other things to show that, yes, you are grounded in your home country. And peradventure, you are not resident currently in your home country, because we do get clients that are Nigerians, they live in Dubai, Nigerians living in Spain and in Germany, and they want to relocate to Canada. So that visa approval will be considered based on, okay, so what is your status in your country of residence, and then what do you still have as ties back to your own, country of citizenship. So those are the things we want to help you with, ask you those questions, guide you in the kind of documents you need to bring to show that, yes, I do have ties. Then you need to show that you want to return back home. This is very funny, because everybody coming to, not everybody, don't be absolute like that, but maybe 95% of the people coming to school in Canada really do not have any intention of going back home. They really want to work, they want to study, work, and then, continue their life. But when we put that application together, you are not going to say that when you finish, then you are going to look for a job in Canada, and then you want to settle down because there is one great idea you have to help them with their economy. They are not interested in that. What they want to see, because it's a temporary permit, it's temporary. So it is appraised on its temporariness. So you must show that temporariness, that when I'm done, I want to go back to Nigeria or wherever is your place of residence or home country. And then this is what I intend to do with my degree. So it's good for you to apply early. Processing time can really mess a lot of people up. You will put in an application, and 4 months, you are still praying. No response. There are lots of people that are waiting for their for a decision to be made now. So don't just feel that you have the luxury of time. Canada is not the UK. For the UK, you can start your application now. We are working on UK schools that we are working on now. And then those students will resume in January. That is for UK. So don't bring that and say, oh, because UK is very fast, UK is this, and then you assume that Canada is like that. All countries with their own kettle of fish. So the way Canada works is that the processing time can take time. It can take 4 months, it can take 6 months, and it can be shorter. But you need to plan for the worst case scenario, that, okay, what if it takes long? So if you want to resume school in September of 2022, this is the time for you to be working on your school admission. So if you think that, oh, Shebi is September, September is still very far. It is not far. We will start now to get your admission, and then so we can put in your visa application on time. Lastly, please do not use fake documents. There are lots of people that are in trouble here, because at one point or the other, somebody somewhere just advised you, you will speak with some funny people they call themselves agents, and then they will tell you that, oh, don't worry, just go and stamp your passport. Go and disvirgin your passport. There is a case I am working on now. It's for UK admission, but she wanted to go to the US, but they said that, oh, she said she had traveled to a particular country and there was a stamp there on her passport. Apparently, she did not go, and that embassy realized that she didn't go, and things didn't go well with that application. And you do not want anybody to ban you, any country to ban you. Someone contacted me. They were banned from the UK 10 years ago, and they felt, okay, 10 years is over. Why were they banned? Because it was about date of birth, something, then they lied about their date of birth. It was discovered. And 10 years has passed, they went back to the UK for study permit and they were still not given. So you don't want to spoil your immigration story. You don't want to create problems for yourself. Do not use fake documents. Don't be tempted. Don't go and bring up a marriage certificate that I am married when you are not. Just do not do it, because you don't know when this will come back to bite you. Okay. So Amos, do you want me to take this? Okay, so am I taking this?
Oh, yeah, you could. I could just jump in later. Yeah.
Okay. So what are the documents that you need? You need a valid international passport, and this is important. In Nigeria, getting passports can be worse sometimes, depending on the period. They tell you they don't have booklets. So if you want to do this thing, make sure you have enough months before your passport expires. Officially, the passport people can renew for you anytime from 6 months to the end of that, to the expiration. But if it is possible for you to even get it done, say if you see that, this thing is remaining 9 months, just go and start the process, because you don't know how long that also will take. And without you bringing a valid passport, you cannot even apply for anything. So that's why getting your passport and making sure it has good validity on it, so that you have many months before it expires. You need to also have a letter of acceptance from a Dli Institute. So not all schools in Canada will allow you to get study visa, because there are schools that they are not for international students. Let's just put it like that. So people who are inside can attend those schools, but you as an international student, you are not supposed to. So if the school does not have this number that is designated learning institution, every school have a unique number to them. So you must have that. Then you need to also check that the school will also enable you, when you graduate, to have a post-graduation work permit, because there are some schools that are DLI, but you will not qualify to have that post-graduation work permit. That means that when you finish from that school, you are supposed to say bye-bye and go back to where you came from. So check those two things before you decide on the school you are going to. And when you have the letter from the letter of admission, then you add it to the document you are submitting. You need to show proof of funds. So there are easier ways to show this proof of funds now. The old school way is to just print your bank statement, 4 months bank statement, and put everything together. But if you go to my bankstatement.com, that place, the government has an arrangement with some of these banks that they can print your statement for you. You get your statement from them. It's easier that way than you printing lots and lots and lots of pages of bank statements by yourself. GIC in Canada, this is an account where you transfer your own money. So if you say I have 5 million naira, it's for my upkeep for 1 year. You can send that money ahead of you to Canada. So it will be in an account in your name and it's locked up there. So if you get they give you your visa, you come in and you enroll in school, that money you will be getting it monthly, because it's supposed to be for your upkeep. You cannot come in now and say, I don't want to go to school again. It is unfortunate, Nigerians, as much as we are good people, there are many, many bad eggs amongst us. Some, after they have gotten their permit to come into school, they come into school and they say they don't want to go to school again. They will go and claim asylum. That is evil. It's wicked. It is, you are spoiling the way for other people. A country had been good to you. You said, I'm coming to school. They allowed you to come to school. Then you just decide that you are not coming again. I mean, who does that? So don't let us be spoiling our name up and down. I beg. Let's just do what is right. So when you have that money here, if you now say, oh, for whatever reason you don't want to go to school, you are not going to get that money. But it's helpful if your intentions are genuine, you are sincere. When you send your money ahead, it shows the visa officer that this person, I mean, like, I have the money and I've parted with it. It's with you people. So it will be a good thing for you. You need you need your passport, photograph. You need the proof of economic ties. We've explained what the economic ties are, but the paper now, that the documents you need to show that you have money, maybe landed properties, that something that shows that you have a root financially back home. Part of this also is that if business ownership is there. If you are in paid employment, you can get a letter from your employer. There are people that are going on study leave. They are going on study leave. If you are going on study leave, for example, that's a good place to show that, I mean, I'm just going, I still have my job back home. When I get back, I'm going back to work. So that can serve you as economic ties. Employer references. So if you are working, say you have a job, then you bring your employer a letter from your employer to show that your job is still reserved. That is under where, if you are on study leave, will fall into. Then the letter of explanation. So that is the one where you are free to tell your story. You want to tell your story. You want to convince this person, this visa officer, that I am sincere, I'm genuine, this is what I want to do, and you write your letter. And that is where we can really help you do a very good job in that letter of explanation. Okay, Amos.
Okay, awesome, great. I'll run through this slide quickly. So a letter of explanation, this is the make or break. In addition to all of those things Coach Bose had informed us about, they are extremely very important. Now, in my own assessment, the letter of explanation is the most important. This is where the visa officer makes a decision. And in many refusals I've seen, they come back to say it doesn't make sense, it is bogus, it is poorly written. And sometimes I feel it's insulting to Nigerians too, when visa officers say their statement of purpose is poorly written. I've had a lot of refusals. And the reason is because Nigerians, we like BB grammar. We like to speak big grammar, write in big grammar. Guess what, guys? You don't need big grammar in this. Just be simple language, simple present tense language. Further to my future plan, I intend to do this. Keep it simple, right? What are the things you should include? Your background, speak briefly about your education, your career history, your career projection, and your long-term ambition. That's really important. It has to be chronological and logical for a visa officer to understand. Then why Canada? Why not your country? Why are you choosing that school? Why the choice of the program? Now, if you're having a career change, like Coach Bose mentioned earlier, why are you making a change from maybe engineering to cybersecurity, or from accounting to being a nurse? Why are you making that change? You have to be clear about that. Next, how does the benefit of the program offset the costs? It's a lot expensive coming to study in Canada. Why would you want to spend that money to study in Canada when you can study in Nigeria or even other neighboring African countries, right? It's very important you make them see that. Your source of funds, you have to tell them how you'll be paying your education. Parents and spouses, good. That's a legal covering. They can sponsor. You can sponsor your kids. You can sponsor your spouse, or you can support the application. However, if you're getting sponsored by an uncle, someone distant from you, not even related to you at all, the bar is so high, like Coach Bose mentioned earlier. You need to demonstrate to the visa officer that these people, they've been able to show their commitment in the past and they fulfilled it. Now, if you cannot establish that, many people have been refused based on this because they were being sponsored by one uncle or someone else. Because the visa officer just feel that person is not obliged under the law to keep to their commitment. They can easily just give it up and you'll be left in the limbo, right? The other thing is travel history. You talked about your travel history. Flout it. Africans, we don't like really selling ourselves. We see it as maybe if you do, people think you are proud. No, in the Western world, you have to sell yourself. You have to tell them what you've done. If you've been to 20 countries, tell them I've been to several countries. Name those countries, because that tells them you've had an history of going to other countries and going back to your country. So compliance, there's a jurisprudence. So jurisprudence is case laws from decisions that have been made in court that says that lack of travel history is a neutral factor. You can use this if you don't have a travel history at all. You can use that, to say, I've been law abiding in my country. I've been focused in building my career. For example, I had a client that applied with her 2 kids. She's coming for an MBA already in Canada, by the way. Now, she's not had any travel history. In fact, she was refused a US visa application, and the explanation we made, it was just clear. She's been focused on raising her kids, building her family. Her husband has a business. The husband has been focused on growing their business. Just be truthful, clear about it. And then she said she'll be law abiding. Ties to your home country. Madam Bose has explained that. I won't go in detail, but say that in your letter of explanation. And then your post-graduation plans, you must tell them, what do you plan to do? Now, they know that some of us will want to apply for post-graduation work permit. You can also say that. Tell them that after the program, I intend to apply for the post-graduation work permit. If I am approved, always use the word if. If I am approved, I will use that experience to better strengthen my qualification and all that. After the period authorized for my stay, I am going back to my country, and this is what I'm going to do next. Be truthful about it. Don't be scared away about it. Next slide, please. Okay, next slide, Coach Bose. Okay, awesome. So important updates. Now, I know there's this debate in the world, in Nigeria particularly, whether you should be vaccinated or not. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to come to school in Canada from 2022 as a student and you are 18 years and above, you must be vaccinated. So if I know some of us would have said, some people have said, even I've had clients that have told me their faith does not allow them to do that. And I really would encourage them, please go with your faith. Don't give it up because of Canada. If your faith says don't be vaccinated and you believe it, please go with it. But if you want to come to school in Canada as a student, you must be vaccinated. So it was important I bring this up, because if that's not settled, you cannot even come to Canada. And by the way, so your families too, if they are coming to settle with you, they would have to be fully vaccinated. The only exceptions are your children that are below 18 years of age, right? If your children are below 18 years of age, then they would be able to come with you, when you come to school. Then the other thing now is, as a student, you can even do your program online, but the key thing there is that you must be approved for the visa. So if you're approved for the study permit, you can decide to study for your program online till about August 2022. In fact, some people have been able to even finish their entire program online, and they are still eligible for the post-graduation work permit afterwards. So that's the new update they've brought up now. And if anybody is currently studying or intend to start studying soon, you can explore this option, because you're going to save a lot on costs, right? You're going to save in terms of accommodation and all that. So if you can do that savings, please go for it. But the catch there is that you must be approved for the study permit for it to count. Okay. All right. Next slide. All right. Previous slide, ma'am, if you don't mind, just go one step backward. Okay. So yes, that's very key that we note that. And the final thing I will say on this slide is you must make sure when you are coming into Canada, you read all the facts, all the details. Don't go by what you see on the internet. People are saying a lot of things. Just make sure you are following the government sites. Read all the updates, because it's changing all the time. They can change and say, you know what, you must be fully vaccinated, which you've already told us right now. They could even come up to say, your children would need to be vaccinated. We don't know if that will happen, but please be updated as you move along. All right, take it away, ma'am. Next slide. You can take it from there. Okay, yeah. Coach Bose, you can take the first part. I'll speak to the judicial review.
Oh, I was on mute.
Yeah.
Okay, so how can we help? What are our services? Like our aim is that you know what you want to do if you do choose to do it yourself. You will see that on the government website, there is always this explanation there that you don't need anyone to help you. You can do it yourself. Of course you can. But there are some other people that know how to do it better than you. That's the truth. So you can book a consultation with us to ask your specific questions. We will try to take some questions now, definitely, but you know that whatever answers will be given will be generic. And that's the truth, because if you ask, oh, I'm 25-year-old, can I do this? We will give you a generic answer because we really don't know your backstory. So if you want to sit down with us to ask your own, this is my situation. There are 27-year-olds that are divorced. They are even separated. So they ask those questions. I'm separated. Should I say I am married so that I can do this? Should I say I am divorced so I can do this? We can't be answering those kind of specific questions in a public forum like this. So that is why it is good for you to book a consultation where we will really know you and know your situation, and then we can guide you on how you can put together a good application. You said you want, okay, so application review. We can also help you with when you filled your forms and you've written your letter, you have done everything that you think you should do. But before you submit it, you want a matured eye to help you take a look at it and give you more counsel and ask you, so this document you are attaching, don't you have this other one? Why do you choose to use this? Can you get this other document? We can now sit with you to help you with your documentation and just give you the general counsel on how you can make your application better. What else can we do? We can help you with full representation. So what full representation means is that you are not filling no form. You are not doing anything. You are just saying, well, I don't have the time. I can't go through this stress. You guys just take this burden off me and I will supply the relevant documents. So we will be the one to fill your form, to tell you the document you should go and bring. Hello, we are not going to fabricate documents for you. So don't think that you will say, can you help me get bank statements? From where? We don't do that. So you are going to be the one to give us the documents, but we will tell you the kind of document you should go and get. So so that you do your, okay, I should be able to get this, I should be able to get that. Then we will put the application together for you and write your very compelling submission letter with it that will increase your chance of getting it. Remember, the percentage is 15%. So if somebody that is more skillful does your application, of course, there is a very higher chances of you getting approved than if you do it yourself. So judicial review, over to you, Amos.
Okay, great. Awesome. So sometimes you might have exhausted all of the options, like you've applied once, the second time you've been refused. So I've had like 3 clients that they applied twice on them by themselves and they were refused. On the 3rd application, they came to me. I looked at all of the 2 previous applications, got their GCMS notes. By the way, that means the immigration files, the notes, the system where the visa officers put in the notes when they're making their decision is called the GCMS, Global Case Management System. So I haven't reviewed all that. I came to realize that, they made a few mistakes. And then I put up a very strong application. Guess what? They still refused them. But the good news, Despite that refusal, we still have those candidates in Canada today. Why? Because in that application, the third application I did, I covered all of the bases. I covered all of the issues around that. So what we now did when they refused, we went to court, right? And the process of going to court is quite expensive, but because of our relationship with some lawyers here, we're able to work out a plan that works for clients. For example, if you need to go to court in Canada, for some lawyers, before you even start talking for a case like this, they say 5,000 Canadian dollars, right? And that's a lot to pay. But we've worked out plans that are even much cheaper. The first payments could even be less than about 3,000 or 3,500 thereabout. And then you'll be able to see whether you can get a settlement. And for those two clients, IRCC settled while the court case started. So the intention is really not to go to the court. The intention is to get the process started. When you get the process started, you then reach out to IRCC. The lawyer will now reach out to IRCC and negotiate and tell them, hey, look at this decision your visa officers have made. They made errors in law. They made errors in fact. Now we can either go to court and fight this, or you just settle. In many cases, IRCC have been settling when they discover that their visa officers have made errors in law. So that's what we professionals will do. We package your application such that it's so watertight that in the end, even if they refuse it, it's a setup for you to be successful when you go to court, because in the courts, they are being objective. They are not being sentimental. They look at the facts. Okay. All right. Next slide. Yeah, go on, ma'am. You can take that.
Okay. So, who really need help with their application? I mean, if you are young and you have time, you are pumped up to say, I got this, I can do it myself. Okay, you may. But there are some people that I will not even encourage you to say you want to do it yourself. Some people have been denied this thing 3 times. I mean, so someone called me and said that, there is a relative of hers that's been denied 3 good times, and this person is going for the 4th time. And I'm like, so what has changed in your story? What will you do differently? Is the same? Do you think by doing Stronghead, you just feel that I should do Stronghead? Once I do Stronghead for them, I will just keep submitting. I will keep submitting until they get tired. They will not get tired. So if you know that you have done your bit and the thing is not working, please don't go and be stressing yourself. Know that you really need help at that stage. If you've been denied before, then you don't want to just go and do exactly the same thing you did the first time. Just get help. If you have a dent in your story, your immigration story, you've been banned. I have someone who is currently, she was a visa to the US was cancelled. She has a bit of a story. That kind of a person shouldn't, whenever you want to do application next, you should not just say, I got this. You don't got it because there is a dent. If you have a criminal history, so maybe you've been to prison before, there is something about you were deported from one place before, those are immigration stories those are things that can affect your immigration. So don't just say, I am using faith. It is good to use faith, but it is also good to speak to people who really know how to help you. And if you are just there, you've never even done it before, you don't have any story, everything is cool with you, but you want to say, let me give this thing my best shot one time and get it right. You don't have time for gambling. Please get help. Because this thing is a gamble. You with your best of intention, you can put it up together. You may not get it. So if you get someone that is better than you in putting applications together, then you really, really up your chances. So as much as we encourage you to do it yourself, if you have the capacity to get help, and when I mean capacity, if you have the capacity to engage us to help you, you should definitely do that rather than say, I can do it by myself. So if you would like to book for a consultation, Sam, if you are listening, please do help drop this booking link. I mean, you can copy it if you can say, help me drop the booking link in the chat box so that it's easy for people to book the session. So let's take questions now. I think I have quite a number of them. So if you look at the chat box now, you have the booking link there. So book a session and you would be able to sit with us on Zoom to really help you out with your specific situation. So Amos, can you also look through the chat and see what questions we are taking?
So I see one. I'll take the first one. I'm considering sponsoring my wife for a master's program in Canada. I just want to know whether it's feasible to process family visa application for this purpose. I intend to be visiting regularly while the children reside in Canada with her. My answer to that is twofold, yes and no. I'll start with the yes. Yes, you can all apply together as a family, the student and then the other spouse for open work permits and the children for study permit. The children, if the principal applicant is approved, the children usually are approved, no issues. Now, the problem though is, or not the problem, let's speak to the yes first. So the yes, you can apply together, but you would need to have very strong economic tie to your country. You must be able to establish that you are very, very solidly grounded and you've had histories of traveling together as a family and returning back to Nigeria. Then it puts through. Otherwise, I would advise against everybody. What you can do is one person goes alone or with the children. I've applied for a number of candidates with their families. That is, the candidate and the children, while the spouse stay behind as the family tie back home. And I've been successful in those applications, right? So if you want to have your children go with your spouse, I would say fine, include them. But one of the spouse, my recommendation is stay behind for family ties. If you think everybody should go together, please make sure that you can show that you have strong economic ties. That's how I'll answer that. Okay.
Okay. How can I get the summary of the requirements needed to study in Canada? Please do visit CIC website. We already mentioned some of those requirements, and I don't think we should be going back to that now. Presentation slide. Is there any age barrier to apply? Can a permit be granted as a family? To that one, Amos has already answered. Can a permit be given to a family? We said, let at least one parent stay back to prove family ties back home. Is there any age barrier? Amos, is there any age barrier?
Technically, no. Technically, no. And in some cases, yes. So why I say no, it depends on the level of study. For example, if maybe you've had masters and you want to go for PhD and you're over 40, even to 50, why not? If your story makes sense, they'll be approved. I've seen people that are 46 that are approved for the diploma. They've even had masters. They are coming for diploma. They've been approved. Meanwhile, I've also seen people that are 20 years, just finishing school, good funds from their parents. They were refused. So it's not based on age or anything. It's based on your storyline. It's based on your profile. It's based on what you're presenting and all that. So if you are over 40 and you feel compelled, you want to go to school, if your story makes sense, why not? We defend it.
Okay, thank you. So how much is your charge for consultation? It's $100 for today, because if you are booking based on this webinar, it's going to be $100 for an hour. On a normal day, it is $120. So there is a discount just because it is this webinar. So it's going to be a Zoom call where you would have sent us information ahead of time about you. So when we come on the Zoom, it's to actually like maybe ask you more questions so that we really know what pathway is suitable for you. Mind you, this consultation is not just about whether you want to go to school or not. So there are other people that school is not their thing, or they have ideas about other things they want to do in Canada. So it's a general consultation. If coming to Canada is your dream, then you are the one to book this consultation. So we can talk more about it. What's this question? ITA from the Express Entry Pool also apply for TRV or study permit. Can someone who has gotten ITA from the Express Entry Pool, also can the person apply for study permit? Why not? I mean, if you are, I know some people, they said they've been in the pool for donkey years, even though they have ITA, the thing is not, they are not answering them. If you want to use that as backup, you can go ahead. There's no law. Amos, there's no law that says
that's right. But the question I will ask that person is your intention really to go to school? If your intention is to go to school, then wait to get your PR and you pay as a home student. Why do you want to spend money that you have now for international fees? You have ITA. That's good news. Your application is, you're already on the path to getting PR. It's just a matter of time. So give it the time it requires. And when it's done, then you get if you're applying for TRV, of course, it makes sense if you have legitimate purpose to come. But right now, they are not looking at TRV applications, except you have family members in Canada.
Inside.
So if you do not have, just relax, my dear, okay?
Okay. So how will I know if a course is PGWP eligible? You will see it on the school website, and on CIC website, they have the list of DLIs there, and that's why you need a consultant now. You need that. I'm not talking about Canadian consultant. I'm talking about admission consultants. EduThrive. When we do your own admission, we will definitely give you the school that meets all the conditions. We will never suggest a school to you that will not. So what advice do you have for postdoc candidates, please? Postdoctoral admission is not something that is very easy to come by. It is not easy at all. Just like getting into a PhD program is not easy. Not now talk about the postdoctoral. So, the space available for, as the higher you go in that academic line, the space, that is the opportunities there are not a lot. So there is a lot of competition. So the advice is, if that's what you really want to do, I would always look for the easy way out. It's like, can you afford to do another master's? Because what you want to do is to come inside. Just come inside. When you are in, then you are closer to those opportunities, because you enter the particular uni where you want, and you can see all the grants, you can see all that is available. You are closer. But when you are outside, you want to do postdoctoral, you want to do this, you want to do that, it may be difficult. Yeah. So otherwise, if you don't want to do that, just keep searching. Keep searching. You will find, but it's not going to come easy. That's the truth. What other question? What is the minimum amount needed in one's account to gain scholarship for postgraduate? This question, if you want a scholarship means that you are not paying for your school. So if you have a scholarship already, you still need to, if the scholarship does not cover your upkeep, if it is just paying your tuition, you still need to show that I have money for my upkeep. So for students, the average monthly spending is $1,000. So you budget $1,000 a month, and then you show for 1 year, because you are not paying school fees, but you need to pay for your upkeep. So you need that much as proof of funds. Will the recording be available? Yes. I got PhD. Amos, help me out here. Have you found any question?
I'm just gonna go back there and see.
So I have this PhD program at University of Saskatchewan since June, but yet to receive a reply, even though January is barely, assuming I am offered a place next month. Will 2 months be enough? No, 2 months will not be enough to process your visa. It will not be enough. But if you get the admission, the school may allow you to start online. I mean, this is a PhD program, so it's not as if you would have to be resuming to school every day. So for this PhD person, once the admission comes out, that's the most important thing for now. Since you don't even have the admission, we cannot be talking about visa. But once you get it, you can probably start online or defer it till the next intake. But 2 months is not going to be enough if we start the process now to say you get it in January. Not likely.
Okay, I'll take one now that says, how much is it to apply on my behalf, and how much is application review? We won't answer prices on this call. So when you book your consultation, we can talk about that. In terms of the other question, if one is already in the express entry pool, does it affect getting visit or study visa? No, it doesn't. Simple. The other one, please, when is it advisable for students already studying in Canada in their final year to request for a post? Okay, so post-graduation work permit, as the word goes, post-graduation, that means you have to have finished, okay? So you have to have finished. Not necessarily you have to have done your graduation ceremony, because graduation ceremony is fixed ahead. But as soon as you get the letter, you finish the coursework and they say you fulfill all of the requirements for the study, then that means you've met the requirements. You can use that, get a letter from the school that says that you can use that to apply for post-graduation work permit. And also I should note, if you have been studying, you've been allowed to work 20 hours per week, right? And then you finish school, not based off the expiry of your study permits. Some students make that mistake and they go out of status or they contravene the conditions. What do I mean? Once you finish your study, let's say you finished in this month of November, your study permit is expiring in March. Please note that you will officially finish school November. The only way you can continue working is you apply immediately for post-graduation work permits. They give you that 3 months up until that March for you to be able to round off yourself and leave Canada or change your status to something else. Not for you to stay on and think you are still a student. No, you are not. Immediately you finish in November, for you to keep working, you immediately apply for post-graduation work permits. Once you apply, you've met the condition of maintained status. So you can continue working. Your post-graduation work permit application is on the way. Please note that many students have contravened their conditions because they didn't understand that. Okay. The other question here.
Yeah, I have a question. Hold on 1 minute. There are people asking if they can pay this consultation in Naira. And if you check the chat box now, you'll find the Naira account. You can pay the equivalent. It's $100. You'll pay 45,000 Naira. Okay. So you can make your payment, and then we would get in touch with you. Please, when you make the payment, do put your phone number on the I don't know how you're sending it, but usually when me I do transfer, I can put a comment or a note. Yes. So otherwise, how else would we know now? How can we? Because if we just see a payment, how would we know it's you? So you need to let us have your number, or you contact us on send WhatsApp message to 08034881370. Sam, please help post the WhatsApp number you are chatting with me on that chat box, so that they can send the message after they've made payment, so we can track it to them. Okay, go ahead, Amos, please.
Okay, thank you for that. What are the links and websites that are open to Nigerians for postgraduate scholarship? You can look for that for yourself. Otherwise, Madam Bose can help you with admission. And by the way, many of those schools, they issue scholarship at entrance. So if your profile is solid, they issue you scholarship regardless. And then when you are going for research-based masters, right, automatically many of them come with funding. So you get that. Madam Bose can help you with that. Is there any need for Ielts for visa application? That's a broad question. So if you're saying for study permit application, Ielts, yes and no. Yes, if you want to use a Nigerian Student Express. Nigerian Student Express is one pathway the visa offices are using now to process for Nigeria to make it faster. They do 20 calendar days, but the requirement is you have Ielts minimum 6 across. You have at least 30,000 Canadian dollars that has been in your account, equivalent in Naira for sure. That have been in your account for minimum 6 months, but you show them a 12-month history. But you are not printing the statement, you're just getting the My Bank statement. Madam Bose mentioned that earlier. Now, and then you do advanced medical. That's the Nigerian Student Express. But if you just want to apply normal pathway study permits that takes between 3 to 4 months processing time, no, you don't require Ielts. Okay. There's a specific question here. I'm going to answer it generally. I've applied for visiting visa, but I was refused. I wish to apply for post-graduation. I am okay. If you've been refused visa before, it doesn't mean you'll be refused when you apply again. I've had people that have been refused severally, they've been approved. Okay, so you can apply for post-graduation diploma, but make sure it makes sense. Speak to Madam Bose around admission. You have HND. Some schools will take that for sure. They will take that for postgraduate diploma.
PGD.
They will. Yeah, they will take that for that. Okay. Okay. Then
we've answered that. There's somebody else that said she's been denied once, and another application is under consideration. The problem is my school admission has expired.
Oh, okay. That's easy. That's easy. What you just do, get in touch with the school, and maybe they may say pay another application fee. That's fine, pay it. They will renew your admission and issue you a new one. So just take the next start date. If the next start date is May 2022, or even if it is September 2022, take that. So that once they issue that to you, it's important you update the visa office with a new letter of acceptance. Why do you need to do that? If they are approving you, and definitely they will ask for it. At some point, they will ask for it. They will tell you to go and bring a letter of acceptance. So be ahead of them and get it. Once you send that to them, it is a new date on the letter they will use to approve the visa. But if you do not do that and they approve your visa, then that means you would have to extend it when you get to Canada. Because they will approve it based on the duration on the initial letter of acceptance, right? Then you now need to approve that. Then I would take that with another question when somebody asks about how long validity in your passport. It's very important that your passport is valid for the duration of your study permit. But if it is not, it's understandable. Be ready and know that you would need to extend your study permit, because they will only issue you the study permit based on the duration of your passport. If it's 6 months, that's what they will issue. Then when you come into Canada, you can extend when you get a new passport. Okay. All right.
So do you still support with study loan? Yes, we do support with study loan. It has to be a master's program in selected universities. So you can contact us for more information on that. Does the consultation fee cover assistance with the whole process of the study? I don't know what that means. What the consultation is for. Consultation is sit down with us on Zoom, and then we talk about you and your needs concerning immigration, whether it is study or other pathways you choose. So that is the conversation. So I don't know. Now that Canada has a lot of backlog, how soon will this process start? It depends on which backlog you are talking about. If it is visiting visa, yes, there is backlog. If it is for PR applications backlog, but for study permit, they have started working on that. So the backlog is not really like Amos. They've
Yeah, for
started
sure.
working on. They
Yeah, for
started
study
working on
permit,
study.
I'll add a bit of context. So for study permit, you want to apply on time. Madam Moses spoke to that earlier. If your study is starting January and you're just applying now, just know that you're not going to get a decision and your program will start, right? But you can start studying online, and hope for a positive decision. But the thing you want to do is apply at least 4 months to the start of your program. At least right now, apply 4 months. If you meet the Nigerian student experience requirements, there's a chance to get a decision faster within 1 month to 2 months. But if you do not meet the requirements, then you need enough time to apply, like 4 months before you do that. Because if you do not do that, then you know that the school would have started and you wouldn't get a decision, right? Yeah, it's important you do that. What was the other part of the question? Did I answer that fully?
Yeah, you've already answered. You need Ielts for visa application. So if you are doing the direct student express, student direct,
Yeah.
you will need Ielts for that. So otherwise, you do not. What other questions? Because we need to shut down so that when you come, when you come on the consultation, we will be able to talk to you. So if you want to book a call, a free consultation to talk about your study loan and your study needs, you will go to Study Abroad Calls, www.studyabroadcalls.com. So you on that place you can book. Studyabroadcalls.com. That was an error. Sam, please help me drop the proper one. So if there are no more questions, so we've sent the phone number. You will send the message to if you do book a consultation by paying in Naira. What else? Can you see anything that is still outstanding?
Just gonna check. Maybe I'll just speak one more to the GIC in Canada. I know some people might have been wondering what that is. So the student direct stream, like other countries, they do have an arrangement where you can move in your living expenses. So they take between $10,000 to $20,000 in that account. Now, some of the financial institutions have opened it up to other countries, including Nigeria. So if you've had applications in the past and you've been refused, I've seen applications where they say, refusals where they say the person has the money in the account, but the visa officer's concern is, will it be available for the study? So you'll be wondering, why would the visa officer think that? I've shown you proof of the money. I have the money in my account. But the truth is, because the person's profile, and they look at it holistically and they feel, okay, even though this person have this money to show, but I'm not convinced the money will be available. So how do you overcome things like that? When you just pay the full tuition of the fees, pay the full tuition fees. Then the next thing is your living expenses. You move it to Canada through the GIC account, which we can help you with information on that, And then when you submit a new application, already your tuition is paid. The money that you have in GIC is in Canada, so the visa officer wouldn't say anything about availability anymore. Then they will approve the next application you submit. So there are many ways to it. It's important you talk to experts, and we're here to help you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for everyone that joined in. The room was filled to capacity. The capacity was 100, and there were people sending me messages that, I couldn't join in, capacity full. So please, next time when we call these meetings, do try to come in on time, and so that we can have, So thank you for coming. We will be sending the replay out, and we look forward to speaking with you on the Zoom calls as you book your seminar, your time. Please don't think because there is a phone number that you can call and be bugging me. I will not answer you. Thank you. Amos, thank you for joining today, and
Don't worry.
do have a wonderful time. So
Yeah,
bye.
bye everyone.
Bye bye. Okay.